I'm talking to you about a very common question. Have you ever said to yourself, why am I so exhausted? If you're a woman and a Christian woman, you have asked yourself this question, and it's very common. So we're talking about this. And first, I talked in another video about the spiritual, which is number one. And it's usually not the first thing we go to, but it is number one. Reason number two is soul. We are spirit, soul, and body. And our soul, mind, will, and emotions play a huge part in that. And I talked in another video. I hope you'll watch these videos in this series on why are you so exhausted. Today, we're going to talk about reason number 3, the body. This often is the first thing that you look at when you're asking yourself, why am I so exhausted? It shouldn't be the first thing, in my opinion. It's not the most important, but it plays a vital part. Years ago, I was so fatigued that I couldn't function. I didn't have small children. I had children. I had a busy life. This was just beyond anything. I was so exhausted, and I was depressed. I was noticing, and I had learned how to fight depression. So the fact that I knew that I was experiencing depression and I had these symptoms and I could not seem to get past them really bothered me. And what I found at that time, and we're talking about the physical symptoms now, I found out that I had a vitamin B12 deficiency. I'm not saying that every time that you're exhausted, it's because you have a vitamin B12 deficiency. But I am sharing that because you need to do the research on your symptoms, your body. But don't become obsessed. Do not be a person who spends their life thinking, how do I feel today? I'm tired, I'm exhausted. And every day you are thinking about it and you are trying to deal with it. That's no way to live. But do some research on your symptoms. I've mentioned before that I am sensitive to salicylates. God has created you uniquely. I say this all the time. You are a unique person. You have a genetic predisposition. You can ask your mom, if you're a woman, maybe she experienced certain things at a certain age, and you are too. There were certain things that came up for me that I remembered. Oh, I remember my mom went through that too. This is the way it is. But I want to address very common things that you can fix. And I say that with the understanding that there are always going to be certain times in your life and certain circumstances in one person's life that will make it impossible right now to do this. And that's get more sleep. As long as we're on Earth, we need sleep. Isn't heaven going to be wonderful when we don't need sleep anymore? But while we're on Earth, we need sleep. I learned something years ago when I was a nanny for a baby. And of course, sleep is so important for babies. The mom of that baby had read a book, and she asked me to follow this system. I don't subscribe to a lot of things that people think are appropriate for caring for a baby. But in this case, I found this to be extremely helpful, not just for the baby, but for myself. What that book talked about, and now I won't be able to tell you the title of it, but it talked about 90-minute cycles of sleep. Did you know that you complete a cycle in a certain amount of time? You complete all of the stages of sleep in a certain amount of time. And if you interrupt your sleep in the middle of a cycle or somewhere before you're finished with that cycle, you are going to wake tired. And so with this baby, we had a very, very set system, what we would do prior to laying her down to sleep. She would sleep and sleep well and wake up happy. I began to follow this system and to look at my sleep cycles. And I recommend this to you. Just try it. You don't have to subscribe to it if you don't like it. But if I sleep an amount that can be divided equally into 45 or 90-minute segments evenly. And that means as little as 4.5 hours or 6 hours or 7.5 hours, not 8 hours as we've all heard, 7.5. Those are amounts that are divisible by 90 minutes. If I sleep that length of time, I will wake rested. More rested if I sleep 6 hours than if I sleep 7. Because 7 hours wakes me up in the middle of a sleep cycle. It's a strange and wonderful thing. Try it. You might like it. And I just know if I'm not getting enough sleep, and it's very easy to do, maybe I just need more sleep. Maybe you do too. And then, because we're so complex, and I've talked about spiritual, I've talked about the soul, which is the mind, will, and emotions, because the mind is so powerful, and the mind and emotions are involved with anxiety and worry. God commands us, don't be anxious. Don't be anxious. Don't worry. That's a command. That means you can do it. You can obey. And if we are not obeying, that's spiritual, first of all. But then we're worrying and our mind is tied up with anxiety and anxious thoughts. We are going to have physical exhaustion. Very, very common. And if you're a woman and you have not learned how to be anxious for nothing, do not worry. If you have not learned that, what that means is you don't have enough faith and you need to ask God to help you. Give Him your will to put aside worry and anxiety and take your thoughts and throw them out when they begin to worry. If you're an overthinker, I'm telling you, you have to change, and God will help you. The Spirit will help you. If you are racing ahead of God and you are far down, if you're worrying about something next week, next month, next year, years from now, and I know many women who do that. If you are anxious or wrapped up in guilt because of the past, this is not God's plan for you. These are the reasons why you're exhausted. And it's not God's will for you. I can say that unequivocally. It's not God's will for you because He commands you not to be anxious. He commands you to take your thoughts captive to Him. He has so many verses in the Bible that are for you, my friend. Rest in Him. Be at peace. God is fully able and in control. He's sovereign. He can even if all these things are true about what you did and it was awful and you've repented, do not go there in your mind. God's forgiven you. Press on, like the Apostle Paul talked about. And then you are given today. You are not given tomorrow or next week or next month or next year. You are given today, this moment, period. Don't let your mind race ahead. And if you have got a lot to do, which most women do, you must plan, not try to be a people pleaser, not try to be a perfectionist, and not be a procrastinator. Put away the 3 Ps and embrace God's peace for you. That P. I will be talking more, so make sure to come back. We're talking about why are you so exhausted? And this was reason number 3, body. This is Wendy Gunn.